President Trump put the world on notice that the American dollar will be the reserve currency of the world with or without you. Trump protects the United States dollar and the IQD. Our military forces have poured into Iraq from one area to refortify what we have. Why? To protect the reforms, to protect the currency. Trump was saying, "I'll take your oil but I'm going to drill baby, therefore I'll take a new exchange rate for the IQD that I have in my reserves and deal or no deal." Our relationship with America will become stronger with an initiative that al-Sudani will announce soon. Expectations of his advisor. Quote, Al-Din, the Prime Minister's advisor for foreign affairs, expected Prime Minister Mohammed Shia al-Sudani to announce a pioneering financial initiative that he said could change the business landscape in Iraq and strengthen its relationship with the United States. If you were the board of BP, British Petroleum, and you were about to sign a massive oil deal with Iraq, are you seriously going to sign it at 1,310? You've never signed it before. Show me something you've signed in the last 20 to 30 years with Iraq's oil company. No, they got their own oil company, don't they? BP, why out of nowhere? On the 1st of February. If we go past February the 1st and BP still hasn't signed it, what does that tell you? There's a new exchange rate and they're waiting for it. If the new exchange rate comes out before February 1st, yeah, they'll sign. Iraq boosts financial stability with huge dollar and gold reserves in US, Europe. Boy, oh boy, they are teasing us dinar investors once again. They are flaunting their wealth once again, but the IQD is still at 1/6 of a penny and not traded on FOREX. Meanwhile, Iraq has 43% more oil reserves than Kuwait, and just founded 2 more major wells besides. Kuwait is at 1 KWD equals $3.25 on FOREX. If we pay attention, we can see the writing is on the wall, and their economists see it now too. The region demands more dollars, and the center and the south rise up and refuse to pass the budget. We had seen articles like this in Kuwait just before they released their RV. The same back and forth in articles. And Kuwait said they were not going to increase the rate for 6 months the same exact day they released it. China and Germany did the same thing. I was told that there is so much pressure and Iraq has agreed to settle in the next 3 days. Also, they have a team already in Baghdad from the Kurdish region with great hope to settle this debate on the budget tables. Central banks say the truth is there's absolutely no crisis, and this is with the Ministry of Finance and Central Bank confirmed. They don't have a crisis with their money, with their currency or anything at the moment because they kept it under control. They've kept inflation low. Iraq boosts its financial stability with huge stores of dollars and gold in America and Europe. I really find this one interesting. Why do you think they keep telling us how sound, secure and stable it is? They want us to embrace it when they change the value. Economist, Trump is changing the rules of the economic game through gold. Quote, Trump indicated that the US economy may witness a transformation if there is a greater trend towards using gold as an economic tool, instead of relying on paper currencies. They're coming after you. Oh, are they ready? Our government is coming after you. They know you have dinars. They're going to find every way to charge you what you don't need to pay. Every third cousin you haven't heard from in years is going to call you and say, "How you doing, kissing cousin? I need a few bucks." Everybody's going to come after you. They're all going to try to take your money away from you. The US has limited its efforts to help increase the value of the Vietnam dong. The US at times has labeled Vietnam as a currency manipulator, accusing it of deliberately keeping the dong undervalued to make its exports cheaper and more competitive in global markets. Vietnam has managed to achieve significant economic growth despite its currency being undervalued. A low currency value makes exports cheaper and more attractive to international buyers. In Iraq there is a ginormous fight over the budget. Parliamentary finance, parliamentary pressure on the government to send 2025 budget tables. There is also unusual international pressure to get it done. Especially from the US. We never seemed to be concerned about this the last 15 years, and now suddenly we are concerned that they pass a budget. They're coming after you. Oh, are they ready? Our government is coming after you. They know you have dinars. They're going to find every way to charge you what you don't need to pay. Every third cousin you haven't heard from in years is going to call you and say, "How you doing, kissing cousin? I need a few bucks." Everybody's going to come after you. They're all going to try to take your money away from you. The US has limited its efforts to help increase the value of the Vietnam dong. The US at times has labeled Vietnam as a currency manipulator, accusing it of deliberately keeping the dong undervalued to make its exports cheaper and more competitive in global markets. Vietnam has managed to achieve significant economic growth despite its currency being undervalued. A low currency value makes exports cheaper and more attractive to international buyers. Energy expert, Nabil Al-Marsoumi, called for Iraq to be freed from the OPEC agreement with the decline in oil prices. Al-Marsoumi said, during his appearance on the Free Talk program broadcast by Al Furat satellite channel this evening, that Iraq is still suffering from a single income, as 89% of its revenues depend on oil, despite achieving partial development in non-oil revenues that amounted to 14 trillion dinars until last October, noting that these revenues are insufficient and still ineffective. Al-Marsoumi explained that oil remains the main driver of the Iraqi economy, and that economic reforms are slow and ineffective in the general budget, which needs to be restructured by reducing and rationalizing spending. He pointed out that liberating Iraq from OPEC plus restrictions could add 650,000 barrels per day to production, which could compensate for part of the decline in oil prices, warning of the decline in cash reserves in the Central Bank of Iraq, which could affect the exchange rate of the dinar. Al-Marsoumi believes that Iraq is facing developments in the global oil market in 2025 that may be negative, which necessitates strengthening the position of the oil sector as a starting point for economic reform, and that economic development depends on reviving the private investment sector. Regarding 2024, Al-Marsoumi stated that the average price of a barrel of oil sold was $74, and despite that, the budget witnessed an actual deficit of 19 trillion dinars. Most of which was covered by internal borrowing that amounted to 13 trillion dinars, bringing the total internal debt to 83 trillion dinars at the end of December.